Everything that exists in your life right now began first as a thought. The clothes you wear, the chair you sit on, the home you live in, all were once invisible ideas, shaped and brought into reality by someone who understood the power of thought. Your mind is the greatest creative instrument ever known. It has built empires, cured diseases, written symphonies, and yes, it can attract to you anything you truly desire. The mind is a magnet. Whatever you hold in it, whether good or bad, it attracts with exact precision. You don't get what you want. You get what you think about most of the time. If you think constantly about lack, struggle, and failure, your mind faithfully delivers more of it. But when you think about abundance, progress, and purpose, your entire life begins to move in that direction. Everything begins with clarity. You must know exactly what you want. Most people drift through life hoping something good will happen, never realizing that their uncertainty itself repels success. The mind cannot create without a definite image. Sit quietly, close your eyes, and see the life you truly desire. Not vaguely, but in sharp, vivid detail. The clearer the picture, the stronger the magnetic pull toward it. Once you know what you want, you must hold that image steadily every day. Guard your thoughts as you would guard a precious treasure, for what you think repeatedly forms the blueprint of your destiny. Each thought is a command, each belief a signal to the unseen forces that govern your world. Thoughts of faith, gratitude, and confidence summon opportunities, while thoughts of fear and doubt shut them out. But thought alone is not enough. You must act calmly, consistently, and intelligently toward the picture you have formed. Action is the bridge between imagination and reality. The moment you begin to act as though your desire were already on its way, life begins to cooperate with you. People, events, and circumstances rearrange themselves to fit the pattern you have established in your mind. And finally, you must have patience and persistence. Nothing worthwhile appears instantly. The seed must take root before the harvest can appear. Keep your thoughts positive, your faith unshakable, and your actions steady. In time, what was once invisible will stand before you in full reality. The mind, properly directed, will bring to you whatever you truly believe you can have. Everything that exists in your life at this very moment began first as a single thought. Before anything can appear in your world, it must first exist in your mind. The house you live in, the car you drive, the technology you use, even the smallest convenience in your day, all began as ideas in the minds of people who dared to imagine something better. The greatest creative force known to man lies within the human mind. It has built civilizations, written poetry, unlocked the secrets of the stars, and it can just as surely shape the conditions of your own life if you learn to use it correctly. The mind is not a passive instrument. It is an active magnet, drawing to it whatever thoughts dominate it most consistently. You do not get what you merely wish for. You get what you continually think about and expect with emotion and belief. The law that governs thought is exact and impartial. It brings to you whatever you plant in the soil of your mind, regardless of whether that seed is one of faith or fear. Most people go through life unaware of this tremendous power working silently within them. They think their lives are shaped by luck, by chance, by the actions of others, or by circumstances beyond their control. But the truth is that every circumstance is an effect, and the cause is always found in thought. What you hold in your consciousness, you will experience in your reality. When you think constantly about what you lack, when your mind dwells on worry, resentment, or defeat, you are setting in motion the same law that would bring you abundance if only you reversed your pattern of thought. The mind does not discriminate between positive and negative. It simply obeys. Whatever you impress upon it, it expresses outwardly. To attract what you want, you must begin by disciplining your thinking to dwell only on what you desire, not on what you fear. The first essential step is clarity. You must know precisely what you want to attract. A mind without direction is like a ship without a rudder. It drifts wherever the currents take it. Most people spend more time planning their vacations than planning their lives. They have never sat down and written out, in clear and definite terms, what they truly desire. The mind cannot create what the heart has not defined. When you know what you want, you give your mind a target, and your thoughts begin to organize themselves toward that end. Take time every day to imagine the life you want in exact detail. See it as already accomplished. Feel the emotion of its reality. The clearer the picture, the stronger the magnetic force you unleash. Once your goal is defined, your task is to hold it steadily in your mind. Every great achievement began as an idea that someone refused to release. You must protect your mental image from the doubts of others and from your own moments of uncertainty. Guard your thoughts as you would guard a treasure, because that is exactly what they are. Each thought you repeat becomes a belief, and each belief directs the creative power of your subconscious mind. Think of your mind as fertile soil. Whatever seeds you plant and water with emotion will grow, whether they are seeds of success or failure. The key is to plant deliberately and nurture faithfully. But thought without action remains only potential. To attract anything into your life, you must act as if it were already on its way. Action is the bridge between the invisible and the visible. When you take steps toward your goal, no matter how small, you set unseen forces into motion. You begin to meet the right people, encounter new opportunities, and discover solutions that were invisible before. The act of moving forward affirms your faith, and faith is the signal that draws abundance toward you. Never wait for conditions to be perfect. They never will be. Begin where you are with what you have and keep moving toward the image you hold in your mind. The process demands patience and persistence. Nature teaches this lesson in every season. You do not plant a seed today and harvest tomorrow. Growth takes time, nourishment, and care. The same is true for the seeds you plant in your mind. They must be protected from the weeds of doubt, watered with daily belief, and exposed to the light of gratitude. Gratitude is the secret fertilizer of the mind. When you give thanks for what you already have and for what you are attracting, you amplify the energy of abundance. The more grateful you are, the more reasons life will give you to be grateful. As you continue to focus your thoughts, to act with purpose, and to trust the unseen laws at work, your world begins to change in quiet but unmistakable ways. You notice new possibilities. You begin to feel guided by an inner sense of direction. Situations that once seemed difficult start to shift in your favor. The things you desire begin to appear, not by chance but by design. The mind, when properly directed, becomes the greatest magnet for success, prosperity, health, love, and every good thing you can imagine. The entire process begins and ends with thought. For the mind is the origin of all creation and the instrument by which you attract anything you desire. Everything begins in the mind. Before a single action is taken, before a single word is spoken, thought is the silent architect of destiny. The mind is the workshop of creation, the unseen field where the seeds of every result are planted. What you hold in your mind, day after day, hour after hour, shapes the quality of your life with exact precision. The thoughts you repeat are like chisels carving the sculpture of your reality. Every belief, every assumption, every image you nurture sends out vibrations that draw to you people, events, and circumstances aligned with your dominant state of mind. It is impossible to think one way and live another for long. The outer world always conforms to the inner pattern. Your life today is a mirror reflecting the sum of your past thinking. If the reflection is not what you wish to see, you have the power to change it by changing the cause. No one can think for you. No one can direct your imagination but you. This is the greatest of all freedoms, the freedom to shape your own consciousness. When you understand that thoughts are real forces and that your mind is the instrument through which all creation takes form, you begin to assume command of your destiny. Whatever dominates your mind will eventually materialize. The law is universal and impartial. It works for all who use it, whether they are aware of it or not. To use your mind effectively, you must begin by taking control of what you allow to enter it. The average person's mind is like an open gate through which every random thought of fear, doubt, or gossip is allowed to pass freely. You must become the guardian of your mental garden, allowing only thoughts that support your highest vision to take root. Every day you are planting seeds through your attention and emotion. You cannot plant weeds of worry and expect flowers of peace to grow. The mind does not judge or decide. It merely reproduces whatever it receives with feeling. Guard it as carefully as you would guard your most valuable possession, for it is infinitely more precious. Clarity of purpose gives the mind direction. A clear goal acts as a compass, guiding your thoughts and actions toward a definite destination. Without clarity, the mind wanders scattered and unfocused, wasting its immense energy on trivial concerns. Sit quietly and decide what you truly desire, not what others expect of you, not what you think is possible, but what your heart genuinely longs for. Write it down in clear, definite language. The moment you define your goal, your subconscious mind begins to work on it. It searches through memory, intuition, and opportunity to find ways of bringing your desire into being. The clearer the goal, the more powerfully your mind can operate. Once your goal is clear, it must be impressed deeply upon your subconscious through repetition and emotion. Thoughts alone are not enough. Feeling is the magnet that gives them power. When you visualize your desire as already accomplished, feel the joy, gratitude, and confidence that would naturally accompany its fulfillment. The subconscious responds not to words, but to the emotional energy behind them. Hold the image long enough and often enough that it becomes familiar to your mind, and soon it begins to feel inevitable. This is the point where attraction begins. The outer world adjusts itself to match the inner conviction. But the mind's power is multiplied when it is united with intelligent action. Action is thought made visible. It tells the universe that you are serious, that you believe in your vision enough to move toward it. Every step, however small, strengthens your faith and builds momentum. When you act with belief, unseen forces begin to assist you. Ideas appear, people cross your path, circumstances shift in unexpected ways. The world begins to cooperate with your dominant intention. This is not coincidence, it is law in motion. The mind, through focused thought and deliberate action, becomes a magnet that draws opportunity toward you with unfailing accuracy. Patience is essential in this process. The mind obeys natural laws of growth, and all creation takes time. When you plant a seed, you do not dig it up each day to see if it is growing. You trust the process. The same is true for the seeds of thought. Once planted and nurtured with faith, they must be allowed to mature in their own season. Many people fail not because the law does not work, but because they abandon their vision too soon. They let doubt, frustration, or external opinions destroy the image before it has time to manifest. The mind can bring you anything, but only if you maintain belief long enough for it to take form. Gratitude is another key to harnessing the mind's magnetic power. When you give thanks for what you have and for what is on its way, you create a state of abundance that attracts more of the same. Gratitude opens the mind to receive. Resentment and complaint close it. To live in gratitude is to live in harmony with the law of attraction. Each day reflect on the good already present in your life and give silent thanks for the blessings yet unseen. This attitude keeps your vibration high and your focus pure. The mind, properly trained, becomes your greatest ally. It obeys you faithfully once you learn to command it with purpose and conviction. Every great achievement, every success story, every act of creation began in the same way, with a single individual deciding what to think and refusing to be moved from that thought. The greatest secret known to humankind is that your mind becomes whatever you feed it. It cannot help but transform into the image of your dominant thoughts. The thoughts you hold, the pictures you form, and the emotions you feel all combine to shape the reality you experience. The mind is like a powerful engine. It will take you anywhere you decide to go, but only if you know where you want to go and keep your focus on that destination. Every single event in your life, every success or failure, every joy or disappointment has first been created in thought. The invisible always precedes the visible, and the mental picture always comes before the physical result. Most people live as though their thoughts are unimportant, drifting from one idea to another without realizing that their mental activity is constantly creating the conditions of their lives. But nothing happens by accident. Every experience is drawn to you by the vibration of your thoughts. If you want to attract success, you must think in terms of success. If you wish to attract love, you must radiate love. The world is a mirror faithfully reflecting the patterns you impress upon your mind. It cannot give you what you deny yourself internally. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are the author of it, whether you accept that truth or not. The mind is neutral like the soil of a field. It does not care what kind of seeds you plant. If you plant seeds of worry, limitation, and fear, it will grow those in abundance. If you plant seeds of faith, prosperity, and confidence, it will produce those instead. The soil merely responds to the sower. The key is to become conscious of what you are planting. Many people spend their days feeding their minds with negative news, criticism, gossip, and doubt, then wonder why their lives feel stuck and uninspired. You cannot fill your mind with darkness and expect light to emerge. The first discipline is to become selective about the thoughts you permit to dwell in your consciousness. Choose your mental diet as carefully as you choose your physical one, because your results depend on it entirely. The next step is to create a clear image of what you desire. The clearer your mental picture, the stronger its power to attract. The mind responds to clarity and precision. A vague wish cannot magnetize reality. You must see your goal vividly, feel it emotionally, and affirm it continually. Sit quietly for a few minutes each day and imagine the life you want in perfect detail. See yourself living it, walking through it, experiencing it fully. The subconscious mind cannot distinguish between imagination and reality. It simply takes instruction from your dominant images and begins to reorganize your behavior, your perception, and even external circumstances to match them. The clearer the picture, the faster the result. Emotion is the fuel that gives your thought creative force. A thought without feeling is like a seed without water. It cannot grow. When you think of your goal, allow yourself to feel gratitude, excitement, and certainty as though it were already accomplished. These emotions signal to your subconscious that your vision is real and must be expressed in form. The more you feel the reality of your desire, the more magnetic your energy becomes. You begin to draw to yourself people and opportunities that align with the vibration of your feeling. Everything in life is energy, and like attracts like. Your emotional state determines the quality of what you attract, so keep it elevated through gratitude, faith, and joy. However, the mind does not work by thought alone. It responds to consistent action guided by belief. Once your image is clear, you must begin to act as though it were already on its way. Action transforms thought into reality. Each small step you take reinforces your belief and strengthens your magnetic field. When you act with conviction, unseen forces begin to move in your favor. The right ideas come, the right doors open, and the right people appear. Life begins to mirror the confidence you project. The person who hesitates, waiting for perfect conditions, never moves forward. The one who acts with faith creates the conditions they need. Patience is another requirement of mental mastery. The mind operates under the laws of growth, and all growth takes time. Just as a seed must germinate before it breaks through the soil, your mental image must be nurtured in silence before it becomes visible. Doubt is like pulling the seed from the ground to check if it is growing. Trust the process. Continue to think, feel, and act in harmony with your vision, even when there is no visible evidence of progress. The unseen forces of creation are already at work beneath the surface, arranging the right circumstances at the right time. Gratitude keeps you aligned with abundance. When you focus on what you already have, you amplify its value and attract more of it. Gratitude turns your attention away from lack and towards sufficiency. Each time you give thanks, sincerely and deliberately, you lift your vibration to match the frequency of the good you seek. The grateful mind is never poor, because it constantly sees more to appreciate and more to expect. By living in a state of gratitude, you train your subconscious to expect good, and what you expect, you inevitably attract. The process is simple, though few are disciplined enough to live it consistently. You become what you think about. You attract what you feel about. You receive what you act toward with faith and persistence. The mind is the origin of every result, and it will always deliver the harvest that matches the quality of your inner seed. The most powerful realization a person can come to is that the mind is not just a tool for thinking, but the very force that shapes reality. Everything you experience, from your relationships to your income, from your health to your happiness, is a direct reflection of the images and ideas you continually hold in your mind. The mind is a broadcasting station, sending out frequencies every moment through thought and emotion, and life responds with precision, bringing back experiences that match those frequencies. There is no accident, no mystery, no luck, only cause and effect operating through the unseen laws of thought. What you hold within, you draw without. What you continually expect, you inevitably experience. The reason so few people live the lives they desire is not because they lack ability or opportunity, but because they have never learned to govern their own thinking. The average person allows their mind to run unattended, reacting to circumstances rather than directing them. They think about what they fear, what they resent, or what they lack, never realizing that in doing so they are feeding the very conditions they wish to escape. The mind cannot differentiate between what you want and what you don't want. It simply magnifies whatever you focus on. To use the mind effectively, you must become the deliberate master of your attention. Whatever you give your attention to expands, so it becomes your greatest responsibility to direct your thoughts toward the good you desire instead of the problems you fear. Clarity is the first step toward mastery. The mind requires a definite target, something clear and specific to aim toward. Without clarity, thought becomes scattered, and scattered thought has no creative power. Take time each day to decide exactly what you want from life. Be precise in your imagination down to the smallest detail. The clearer your picture, the stronger its magnetic force. The subconscious mind, which governs the unseen side of your life, needs a vivid blueprint to work from. Once it has that image, it begins to act upon it automatically, guiding your choices, shaping your perception, and drawing to you people and opportunities aligned with that vision. But clarity alone is not enough. It must be supported by belief. Belief is the activating power of thought. The mind will not attract what you do not truly believe is possible for you. You cannot desire abundance while secretly believing that wealth is out of reach. You cannot wish for love while believing that you are unworthy of it. The outer world mirrors the inner conviction. To change your results, you must first change your self-image. Begin to see yourself as capable, deserving, and in control of your destiny. Affirm your worth and repeat it until it becomes natural to think of yourself as successful. The moment you change your belief about what is possible, the law of attraction begins to operate in your favor. Emotion gives life to thought. A thought charged with feeling becomes a powerful magnet, while a thought without feeling remains weak and lifeless. The universe does not respond to mere words, but to the vibration those words carry. When you visualize your goal, let yourself feel the excitement and gratitude of already having it. Feel the relief, the satisfaction, the peace. The stronger the feeling, the faster the manifestation. Emotion is energy in motion. It propels your thought into the realm of creation. This is why fear and worry are so destructive. They also carry strong emotion, and thus they attract quickly what you do not want. To attract the right experiences, you must deliberately cultivate the emotions that match your desired state. Action completes the process of attraction. The mind can design the picture, but only through action can that picture take form in the physical world. Every inspired idea that comes to you through your inner vision is an instruction to act. The moment you take a step in faith, conditions begin to rearrange themselves in your favor. People appear at the right time. Opportunities open unexpectedly. You do not need to see the entire path. You only need to take the first step, and the next will be revealed. Action confirms belief. It sends a signal to both your subconscious and the universe that you are ready to receive what you have imagined. The world does not reward wishful thinking. It rewards decisive movement guided by vision. Patience and persistence sustain the process. Just as a seed takes time to grow into a tree, your mental images need time to mature into physical form. You cannot plant one day and harvest the next. Growth happens in silence below the surface where you cannot see it. During that time, faith must take the place of sight. Continue to nurture your vision with consistent thought, daily gratitude, and confident action. The moment you begin to doubt, you interrupt the process. Doubt uproots what faith has planted. Trust that what you have asked for is on its way, and that the right timing is already being arranged. Gratitude is the final and most powerful attitude for keeping the mind in harmony with abundance. When you are grateful, you are acknowledging the good that already exists, and by doing so, you invite more of it. Gratitude aligns your vibration with prosperity, success, and peace. It dissolves fear and replaces it with faith. Each morning and night, take a few moments to give thanks for what you have and for what is coming. This simple act keeps your attention on what is working, what is growing, what is possible. And wherever your attention goes, energy flows and life responds with matching results. The mind is the starting point of all wealth, health, happiness, and success. Everything that exists in your life right now has first passed through the gateway of your thoughts. The invisible precedes the visible, and the inner pattern always expresses itself in outer form. The law of the mind is constant and unbroken. Whatever you hold in consciousness with faith and emotion must eventually appear in your world. The mind operates as a magnet, drawing to you conditions that are in harmony with your dominant state of thought. You are living today in the result of the thoughts you entertained yesterday, and you will live tomorrow in the result of the thoughts you entertain today. The creative power of your mind is absolute, and when you learn to control it, you can shape your life with precision and certainty. Most people use this power unconsciously. They think randomly, allowing their minds to be filled with whatever noise or worry surrounds them. They drift from one thought to another without realizing that every thought carries an effect. They blame circumstances for their conditions, unaware that their habitual thinking has called those conditions into existence. The one who learns to control their thinking becomes the master of circumstance rather than its servant. This mastery begins with awareness. You must begin to observe your own thoughts as though you were watching someone else. Notice what you dwell on, what you complain about, what you expect. Every thought you repeat becomes a seed, and those seeds are constantly taking root. You cannot expect to harvest peace from the soil of fear, or prosperity from the soil of resentment. To use your mind effectively, you must first define a clear purpose. The mind functions best when it has direction. A clear, specific goal acts as a magnet for your thoughts and energy. It keeps you focused, steady, and purposeful. The clearer your aim, the more powerful your mental forces become. Write your goal in precise terms. Picture it in your imagination as already accomplished. Describe how it feels, what it looks like, what it brings into your life. The subconscious mind works from images, not words. Once it has a clear picture, it begins to move you toward it, influencing your decisions and perceptions to align with your desire. Everything starts to reorganize around that central idea. Your belief in the possibility of your goal is what activates the creative process. The mind cannot bring you what you do not believe you can have. Belief is the link between thought and reality. It is the acceptance of a thing as true before it becomes visible. When you believe, your thoughts gain power and consistency. When you doubt, they lose their force. The universe responds not to what you say, but to what you really believe beneath the surface. You cannot deceive your own mind. If you think in terms of limitation and impossibility, those thoughts will block your progress. To change your outer conditions, you must first expand your inner belief. Begin affirming that what you desire is possible for you. Feed your mind daily with thoughts of confidence and faith until doubt has no room to live. Emotion fuels belief. A thought charged with feeling becomes magnetic. When you visualize your goal, you must not only see it clearly, but feel it as if it were already real. Emotion imprints the image deeper into the subconscious mind, and the subconscious then begins to act upon it automatically. Feel gratitude, excitement, and peace as though your dream were already here. The mind works through vibration, and feeling sets that vibration in motion. You will begin to attract circumstances that match your emotional state. This is why maintaining a positive attitude is not merely moral advice. It is a law of creation. Your vibration determines your results, and your emotion determines your vibration. Action is the expression of thought. The moment you begin to act on your ideas, you transform invisible thought into visible form. Action is proof of belief. The person who waits for perfect conditions never moves forward, but the one who acts on faith sets in motion a chain of events that open new paths and opportunities. Every step you take, however small, sends a clear signal to your mind that you are serious about your intention. That signal strengthens your belief and increases your confidence. Success is built on this cycle of thought, emotion, and action working in harmony. Patience is required because every creation follows the law of growth. You cannot rush the process any more than you can force a seed to sprout before its time. Once you have planted the image of your desire in your mind, continue to nourish it with faith and persistence. Doubt is like pulling the seed from the soil to check if it is growing. Trust that what you have asked for is already on its way. Keep your thoughts in alignment with your vision and act daily in its direction. Consistency transforms invisible potential into visible achievement. Gratitude is the final ingredient that keeps your mind tuned to abundance. When you give thanks for what you have, you signal to your subconscious that you already possess enough, and this feeling of sufficiency attracts more. Gratitude dissolves fear, replaces worry with peace, and keeps your attention focused on the positive aspects of your life. It turns your mind into a magnet for good. The grateful person lives in harmony with the laws of the universe because gratitude acknowledges the flow of creation rather than resisting it. Each morning, begin your day by giving silent thanks for the opportunities before you, and each night end it by appreciating the progress you have made. In doing so, you align your mind with the rhythm of abundance and prepare yourself to receive even more. The mind is the unseen engine behind every movement in your life. It is the quiet architect that builds both success and failure, happiness and sorrow, wealth and poverty. The thoughts you think and the beliefs you hold form the blueprint of everything you experience. The world around you is a mirror reflecting the pattern of your dominant state of consciousness. Whatever you consistently think about, believe in, and expect becomes drawn into your life through the invisible but unfailing laws of cause and effect. You do not attract what you wish for, you attract what you truly are in thought and feeling. The mind is not a storage place for ideas, but a creative force that molds energy into form. Every moment your mind is working, whether you guide it or not. Most people live as slaves to its uncontrolled activity. They let random thoughts of fear, doubt, and frustration run freely, unaware that these thoughts are shaping their conditions. The disciplined thinker, on the other hand, uses the mind as a deliberate instrument of creation. They understand that thought is power, that every idea held with conviction begins to move unseen forces into action. The first step toward mastery is awareness. You must learn to observe your thoughts without judgment, to notice the patterns that dominate your inner dialogue. Once you see how your thinking has been creating your results, you can begin to choose thoughts that build rather than destroy, that uplift rather than limit. Clarity of purpose is essential. The mind cannot create without direction. A clear and definite aim acts as a command to the subconscious. It tells your mental faculties where to focus, what to seek, and what to bring forth. Decide exactly what you want. Write it down, speak it aloud. See it in your imagination until it becomes vivid and real. The clearer the picture, the more powerful the attraction. When you hold a definite image of your goal, your subconscious begins to rearrange your habits, perceptions, and responses to align with that image. It draws to you ideas, people, and circumstances that resonate with your vision. The clearer your focus, the stronger your magnetic pull. Belief is the activating energy of the mind. Without belief, thought remains inert. You can only attract what you believe is possible for you. The person who believes they are limited will always find evidence to support that limitation. The one who believes they are capable and deserving of success will inevitably find ways to achieve it. The outer world always adjusts to the conviction of the inner world. To change your belief, you must change the thoughts you repeatedly allow. Begin affirming the truth of your power. Tell yourself daily that you are capable, resourceful, and guided by intelligence. Your subconscious accepts repetition as fact. The moment belief replaces doubt, the creative power of your mind becomes unstoppable. Feeling gives thought its magnetic strength. A thought without emotion has little creative force, but a thought charged with strong feeling becomes dynamic. When you visualize your goal, you must also feel the emotion of its reality. Feel the joy, peace, or excitement of already having what you desire. The subconscious does not distinguish between reality and imagination. It only responds to the feeling. By living emotionally in the result before it appears, you send a powerful signal to the universe that your desire is already yours. This emotional vibration draws to you matching frequencies in the form of opportunities, relationships, and circumstances. You become a living magnet for the state you inwardly embody. Action is the visible counterpart of thought. Every idea must be expressed through movement if it is to become real. The mind provides the vision, action gives it substance. When you begin to act on your ideas, you transform invisible potential into visible form. Action demonstrates faith. It shows that you trust the process even before results appear. Each step you take strengthens your confidence and draws more opportunities into your path. The law of attraction operates most powerfully when your thoughts, feelings, and actions are in harmony. When you act as though your desire were already coming to pass, you accelerate its manifestation. Patience and persistence are the stabilizers of mental creation. Nothing of lasting value appears instantly. Growth is a process that unfolds through time and faith. The seed planted in the soil of the mind must be protected, nourished, and given time to mature. You cannot rush it, nor can you abandon it when results seem delayed. The universe moves according to law, not emotion. The one who remains steady in vision and faithful in thought will always see their desire realized. Patience is not waiting idly. It is maintaining certainty in the unseen while continuing to act intelligently in the present. Gratitude is the attitude that keeps your mind aligned with abundance. When you are grateful, you acknowledge that life is already working in your favor. Gratitude multiplies what it touches. It keeps your attention on what is growing rather than what is missing. Each day, spend time feeling thankful for the good that surrounds you and for the greater good on its way. Gratitude transforms your vibration from one of wanting to one of having, and in doing so, it attracts even more to appreciate. The grateful mind is magnetic, calm, and confident. It trusts the process of life completely because it understands that every thought of thanks is a seed of expansion planted in the fertile soil of the universe. As you learn to think clearly, believe deeply, feel powerfully, act decisively, wait patiently, and live gratefully, your mind becomes an unstoppable force of creation. Everything you desire begins first in thought, grows in faith, and appears through persistence. The mind, when properly used, will bring you anything you truly hold in consciousness with unwavering conviction and emotional harmony.